Hello everyone, I am Akshay Jain and today we are going to see a Codefresh CI/CD deployment of a very simple application on Anypoint platform Cloudhub. So let's get started. This is my very simple Hello World application. We have a simple listener listening on port 8081. We have a simple payload where I am printing Hello World, and in the logger I am printing the payload. Now in this application I have three major files: codefresh.yaml, settings.xml, and pom.xml. Let's see pom.xml first. In this pom.xml in this plugin section I have added this configuration section where I have the Cloudhub deployment on anypoint.mulesoft.com. The server is Anypoint, and these all the parameters that you see in the curly braces, these all are going to be passed from Codefresh variable section, just like you might have seen in Azure DevOps. So we have a Mule version app.runtime, we have workers, worker type, the environment, and the environment again. The application name, it has to be unique. Make sure the application name that you put here should be unique, and the region, make sure you put the region where you are going to deploy your application. So I have created a simple Anypoint platform trial account. So mostly all the trial accounts are based on the US East too, so I have hard-coded it here. Let's see the settings.xml file. So this is a very small file and it contains this server section. It has the username and password. This username is nothing but the Anypoint platform username and the password. These two are also going to be passed via Codefresh. We will see that in a few minutes. Now we have this codefresh.yaml file. This codefresh.yaml file contains all the scripts which are required to clone, to build, and to deploy the application on the respective server. First step is the clone. Usually Codefresh works with the Docker and it clones everything onto a Docker image, and from there it builds and deploys it. So in the first step you have to make sure the repo should be the one that you want to deploy to your Anypoint platform. So this is the GitHub repo that I have. This one, github.com Akshay API hello. This is the public repo. Why I am using the public repo, I'll tell you in a minute. You have to make sure this revision is the branch that you are picking from. You can use cf_branch as well. For some reason it is not working for this public GitHub repo. It was working for the private GitHub repo. The git, this should be the name of the Codefresh org you are in. So let me quickly show you the Codefresh account that I am in. So this is one of my client's Codefresh account, and I cannot show you right now because of the privacy concerns, but below my username, whatever string you see, whatever name do you see of the particular org, this has to be present over here against git. You have to make sure of that. The next step is build application. The title, you can put anything. The type is freestyle as it is written over here. You can run any command. The image is the Maven JDK. You don't really have to change it. The working directory you may have to change, because for me this /project was not working for my public GitHub account, public GitHub repo, I'm sorry. It was working for the private GitHub repo. So I removed the /project, I kept it as clone, and it is working now. The command is just Maven clean package with all the arguments that I am passing. The deploy application step is almost same with the build application, only the difference is that we are actually deploying it. And I'm skipping the test for now. Now, as you can see, all the files over here are present, and this is the GitHub URL I'm going to use in Codefresh account. Now let's go to Codefresh. Let's create a new project. Within new project you have to create pipeline. You can have many pipelines for different repos. So let's create one new pipeline. Select the type template as pipeline template. I'm going to name it hello pip and create. So now this has three tabs: workflow, settings, and build. Let's copy the GitHub URL quickly. This is public, as I have said before. You can use any of it, but I'm going to choose use YAML from repository. Now by default it shows here all the repositories that are private to this organization, but as our GitHub repo is the public one, we are just going to, we cannot search it over here, but we can put the entire URL over here and it will search automatically. Now you have to make sure the Codefresh YAML file you are putting here is the correct one with the correct extension and the branch that you have to choose. Now all these things are correct. Let's click on done, and as you can see, this is the same codefresh.yaml file which we have seen earlier. We don't have to make any changes over here, but when we save it, you can see in the variable section there is a section appeared detected variables. So these all variables we have put in our maven command, we have to put it over here again, the values to it. So runtime, let me put 4.4.0. the environment is sandbox. The worker type is micro. The number of workers I'm keeping is 1. The server user is my Anypoint platform user, and the server password is, I'm not going to speak. And after putting the password, I can click on this padlock to encrypt it. Once it encrypted, you cannot change it or view it. You have to delete it and put it again. So after putting all the variables, our Codefresh is set. Just click on save. Nothing else needs to be needed in order to run it, but there is one section called triggers. We can create a trigger and we can put the condition if a file is changed in one of in our GitHub repo, the pipeline would execute automatically. But for some reason, for this public GitHub repo, this is not working, and it was working when I used one of the client's GitHub repo, because I'm in the client's Codefresh organization, and that time it worked, the trigger worked for some reason, but for the public repo it is not working, so I'm not going to show it right now. But let's run this build manually. So let's just click on run. You don't have to make any changes over here, just click on run. So as we had 3 steps in our YAML file, clone, build and deploy, let's wait for the steps to finish. So the clone step is started. It's completed successfully. Let's wait for the build. It should download all the dependencies. So our build is success, and let's see what is happening in the deploy phase. So it says it has started, so let's see. Yep, we are getting our application over here. So let's wait for it to deploy. So now we can see the application is successfully started. So I hope it helps you in some way in order to work on the Codefresh CI/CD deployment. This was a very simple example, but yeah, you can change it accordingly as you like, just like you do in Jenkins or Azure DevOps or any other CI/CD tool. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope it helps you.